Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I have my update for Pan Those Eyeshadows. I absolutely love this project. It is probably my favorite one to do, to film, and to watch other people do. So I just have so much love for this project. I have a fairly laid back version of this project. I feel like everyone does it slightly differently. So I have a small handful of ways to roll shades out. The first option is always to hit pan, but I know myself, I know my collection, and I would rather cycle through shades within this project than work for months at a time to try and hit pan on a shade. So I have a few other rollout rules as well, and those are to use a shadow 10 or more times, to have it in for 2 or more months, or to hit a bonus pan in the same palette that the shade is in. So that one will make more sense. I've tried to explain it a little bit in previous videos. I got the idea from Emily Max, so you could go watch her Pan Those Eyeshadows revamped project to get a better sense of that rule. But lots of options for rolling shades out. I utilize that 2-month mark a lot just to keep cycling through my collection. So I have all 5 of the palettes I have been working on stacked up here, and I will run through my progress on each of these. So up first we have my ColourPop Midnight Masquerade palette, and I have been working on the shade Pip. So Pip is this nice brown transition shade at the top, and I have reached for this one time this past month for a total of 5 uses within this project. This one has been in for the 2 months, so I am going to be rolling it out, but I will say I am a little disappointed with the amount of use that I did get on this shade. I just kind of wasn't reaching for it, I guess. I really do love this shade and I do love this palette, but I was just reaching for other things instead of this shade, and it just definitely fell by the wayside for me for this past month. But I did get 5 uses total within this project, which isn't too bad for me, so I think I am ready to roll this out. This is a palette I know I will use more in the future, so I'm not worried about that. I just wish I would have focused on it a little bit more this past month, but I am ready to roll it out. I know I am definitely not going to hit pan on that shade or really any other shade in here anytime soon, so I think it'll be good to just kind of refresh this project a little bit and roll out the shades that have been in this project for those 2 months. Next up we have my Nabla Dreamy palette, and I have been working on the shade Immaculate. So Immaculate is this whitish inner corner shade in the top corner, and I have reached for this one 3 times this past month for a total of 6 uses within this project, which I am quite happy about. And since it has been in for the 2 months as well, I am going to be rolling this one out, and honestly I am very happy to be rolling this shade out. It's not that I don't like this shade or the palette, it's just I get kind of burnt out on this palette, if I'm being honest. I think the color story is really pretty, but reaching into it just doesn't excite me as much as some of my other palettes do. So I was really happy to get a good number of uses on this shade and on this palette, but I am ready to roll something new in its place. It performs nicely, it works well, it's super pretty, but I'm just ready for something new. Next up we have the NYX Flamingo Frost palette, and I have been working on shade number 6. So that is this darker brown shimmer right here, and I have reached for this one twice this past month for 6 total uses within this project. Another 2-month mark, another 2-month rollout. I did enjoy the shade. It was a nice, easy to use everyday shade for me, but I am ready to roll it out, get something hopefully a little bit more exciting. I have been working on very neutral shades within this project, and I do love my neutrals, but I would like to mix it up a little bit and hopefully get something a little bit more exciting and colorful. But this one has been super nice to work on. I am happy to have gotten a good number of uses on it. At least for me, it is a good number of uses, and I think I definitely got some nice use on this palette, so I am ready to roll this one out as well. Alright, next up we have my Rude Cosmetics Roaring 20s Reckless palette, and I have been working on the shade Jazz Night. So Jazz Night is this lighter gold shimmer shade, and I have reached for this one 4 times this past month, and it has only been in for 1 month, so this one is going to be staying in since I have not met any of my goals quite yet. But honestly, I am happy this one is staying in. I feel like I still have some good use to get on this shade, and I don't think I'm going to be able to hit pan on any shades in this palette, but I would like to at least get closer. This has just been a very easy shade for me to reach for. A nice lid shade is mostly how I have been using this one. So easy to use, and I enjoy combining it with some of the more colorful shades in this palette. So that has been fun to do for sure. So this one is going to be staying in for another month, and hopefully I will be able to get some nice progress on it before I end up rolling it out. And our last palette up is the IBY Wonderland palette, and I have been working on Enchanted. So Enchanted is this brown shimmer at the bottom, and I just rolled this one in last month, and I have reached for it twice. I said in my last video that the shade was not my favorite, and I would say that is still true. I feel like I didn't maybe test it out as much as I should have, but during those 2 uses, I did hit pan on the shade Daydream, so I did meet my bonus pan goal, which does mean that I can roll this shade out, and honestly, I think I am going to. I just am not excited by this shade down here. It's just not my personal favorite. I will say I probably liked it more than I had expected to when I was working on it, but it's still just not one that I am really excited to reach for. So I think since I did get a pan in this palette, I am going to just roll this one out and hopefully roll in something that I'm a little bit more excited to work on. So if you have been keeping track, that does mean we have rolled out 4 shades out of the 5, so that is super exciting, and we will get to roll in 4 new palettes. Alright, I'm filming this part a couple days later, so I did have a little nail change, and I also did just recently get sick, so if my voice sounds a little weird, that is why. But we do get to roll in 4 new shades, which I am so excited about. So the way I roll shades in is I randomly select a palette from my collection, and then I randomize a shade from that palette, and I am trying not to work on the same palettes within the course of a year. I have so many palettes that I want to give each of them a chance. So I have my Tiny Decisions wheel pulled up here, and you can see the blacked out ones are palettes that have already been in this project, and I have just found this to be a much better way for me to cycle through my collection and make sure all of my palettes have an opportunity to get some love. So I will go ahead and roll in 4 new palettes. Up first is Poison Garden from Nabla. Next is Be Bella Daisy Days. Then we have Pacifica Purple Nudes. I'm super excited about that one. And our last one, Maybelline Lemonade Craze. I'm going to go grab all of those and be right back.
So I have all of the new palettes here, and I will randomize my shade from each of these, starting with Nabla Poison Garden. So here is what this one looks like, and there are 15 shades in here. One of them does have pan, so if I get that one, I will just re-roll. But we will go ahead and randomize and get number 6, which is this shade over here, the shade Zen. That is such a nice and easy shade to use. Another brown kind of transition shade. I did just roll a few of those out over the last couple months, but that one is super easy to use and I am excited to reach for it, and thankfully as of right now there are no other ones like that in my project, so I will be rolling that one in. Next we have Be Bella Daisy Days. So this one has 16 shades. We will go ahead and randomize and get shade number 2, which is in the meadow right here. This is kind of a mix between a shimmer and a glitter shade. I don't feel like it's truly a glitter, but it is definitely on the chunkier side when it comes to shimmers. So it's not my favorite formula, but I do like the shade in general, so I am happy to pull this one out and reach for it. I really do love this palette, so I'm excited to get some good use on this one and see what kind of progress I can make. Next up we have my Pacifica Purple Nudes palette. I am so excited about this one rolling in. I feel like I haven't been reaching for it a ton lately, so this will definitely be a good opportunity to get some use on it. So I will go ahead and randomize 1 through 10. We get shade number 9, which actually has pan on it already, so I am going to re-roll that one. And we get number 3, which is Purple Rain. Finally, a colorful shade for this project. I'm so excited. A nice purple. I love purple eyeshadow. It is probably my favorite color of eyeshadow to wear, so I am so excited about this one. And then our final roll-in is Maybelline Lemonade Craze, which I am also super excited about. These shades are fairly easy to hit pan on, and I would love to see another one in this palette, so I would definitely like to go for that. So I'm going to randomize 1 through 12. We get shade number 7, which does have pan on it already. This might take a minute. Number 4. So number 4 is the shade Sunnies, which does not have pan. And I am super excited to be reaching for that one. Another kind of boring basic shade, but honestly super easy to use and reach for, so I am excited that that one is going to be rolling in. Alright, so here are the palettes I'm going to be working on for the next month. I am really excited about these roll-ins. I will insert a picture of the swatches so you can see the color story. Fairly neutral again, but we did get that pop of purple, which is really fun. And I'm just really looking forward to getting some use on these shades and on these palettes as a whole. So definitely excited about this. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And with all of that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye!